Hello there, welcome back. Hopefully by now some of you have downloaded my free ebook, A Journey into My Mind. As I mentioned on my last video, I was in a bit of a bad way when I filmed that video, a bit of a bad mood as you probably noticed, but I'm okay today, and I just thought I'd do a quick update video for you all today because I'm in the middle of reading a new book. I'm about 50% through. So it'll be another week or two before I make anything else. So just a little update video for you all. I'm reading a non-fiction book called The Future of Humanity by an author called Michio Kaku. You might know Michio Kaku, he's quite famous. He's actually a physicist. He's like an American Japanese physicist. You might have seen him on the Discovery Channel or National Geographic or something like that. He's Japanese and he's got like shoulder-length white hair. Calls himself a futurologist sometimes as well, but I like him. He's a good guy. I read one other book of his a few years ago, which was called Physics of the Future, which I really liked. So I thought I'd give this one a go. It's called The Future of Humanity, and it's a book about what humanity has got in store over the next couple of centuries. I won't say any more than that. I'm going to do a review of it. It's a good book, so I'm in the middle of reading that. Also, I'm actually compiling another list of short stories. I've been doing these lists, short stories you must read. And I quite enjoy doing them, and I quite enjoy reading short stories at the moment as well. So I'm currently doing that. I've only got 2 stories on this one so far. I'm trying to build it up to 5. I can't rush these things either because I don't want to just put any old story on there. I want every story on these lists to be really good. So I've got 2 on there at the moment. I've read another couple of stories that I've thought, you know, maybe, but I'm not going to rush it. So there's 2 videos in the pipeline right there. What else do I have to say? You all know about my book Swarm that I published on the 1st of February. I've kind of made friends with a narrator, and I sent him an email recently asking him whether he'd be interested in recording an audiobook version of Swarm, and he actually said yes. This guy is like the one who narrates some of my short stories. Now and again I put a video up on here which is like a podcast, a recording of a podcast called the Scare Room Podcast, and there's a guy called Matthew who narrates my short stories. That's the person I'm talking about, and I asked him about doing like an audio book of Swarm, and he said yes. So I'm currently in the process of trying to get that off the ground and kind of get that going. So that's another thing to look forward to as well. I don't know how long that will take. It's quite a long job actually, narrating a whole book. Swarm isn't a big book, it's only about 120 pages, but it's still, he's got to record it all and sort the files, and I've got to upload them, so these things take time. But that's another thing. Right, I was recently contacted via email by a man called Luke Baldwin. Luke Baldwin is a lecturer and a translator from Germany. He found my review of Brave New World, which is like one of my early videos which I did last year. Brave New World is like a dystopian novel, like 1984. And this guy Luke found that video, and he contacted me because he's a big fan of this book called City of Endless Night, which was written by a guy called Milo Hastings in 1920. So it's like 100 years old now, this book. And City of Endless Night apparently is a lot like 1984 and Brave New World. It's like this dystopian story where everyone's being watched and everything's like controlled by the government and stuff. However, apparently this one's different because it kind of predicted World War II. This story is I think it's set in Germany, and it speaks about like this dictator in Germany who controls this eugenics program, and you know, everything's banned and everything's ultra strict, and so it was like it kind of predicted Adolf Hitler and World War II from what I can make out. And this guy Luke Baldwin, he's such a big fan of this book, and he thinks it's so overrated that he's kind of edited the story and he's republished a new version of it with less typos, and I think he's even added certain paragraphs to it to make the story more readable, and he's actually recorded an audio book of it as well. Okay, so he contacted me asking me whether I wanted some free audiobook codes to listen to it. In the end, I kind of struck a deal. I said, okay, if you leave a review for Swarm on Amazon, I'll mention the book here today on one of my videos. So that's what I'm doing now. I haven't read this book, but it does sound very good. And this man has put a lot of effort into kind of reworking the story. So I think it looks pretty good, and it's probably worth checking out. I've left the link for the book in the description box below if you do want to check it out. It's called City of Endless Night, originally written by Milo Hastings, but the new version is edited by Luke Baldwin. Check out the link below for that, alright? Just one more thing before I go. I've actually, over the last week or two, I've been setting up a Patreon page. I've never bothered with Patreon in the past because the way I kind of saw things is that I like doing my drawings, I like writing my books, and even if I didn't earn any money from it, I'd still do it. You know, it's a passion of mine. So, but over the last year or so, I've started up this YouTube channel and stuff, and I've started to put more and more time into this. I put a lot of time into my books, a lot of time into these videos as well, and so I've just kind of set up this Patreon page, and if you're a fan of my work, it's there. If you feel like supporting me, even just a few pounds a month or whatever, the choice is yours. It's an option for you. I've put some kind of free gifts on there. I put 3 different levels on there with 3 different lots of gifts, but the main gift that I'm offering to patrons is some free artwork that I can send to you in the post. Original artwork on paper. I'll literally put it in an envelope and post it to your house or to whatever address you give me if you choose to become a Patreon. Okay? And that is basically it. That's my update for today. So I think the next video will be the Michio Kaku video, the future of humanity. All right, keep an eye out for that one. That will be up and running in about 2 weeks' time, I think. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. Try to have a great day on this weird, peculiar, fascinating rock we call Earth. Goodbye.